Hi everyone.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, a little bit of a Q&A. We're currently at Perth Airport now. That is our gate right there. 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 Yeah, we fly out in, what, an hour?
An hour. Yep. Start boarding in about 40 minutes.
We are off, if no one knows our plans at the moment, we are off to Bali, and then we are going to motor our way up to the top and catch a ferry across East Java and go and explore East Java.
Yes. So let's get started with the Q&A, which everyone's put in some really awesome questions. So the first one is from Steph. She says, when are you going to visit snow? Are you going to go to Victoria, New South Wales, or Japan? Now, Steph also commented on one of our other videos that we put on Facebook because Luke decided to say that we don't have snow in Australia.
Tried to get the comments going, but yeah, did a little bit.
We do know that we have snow in Australia. We just don't have much snow in WA apart from Bluff Knoll, and I'm not climbing all those steps.
It's a hell of a trek to get up there, and it's only for a short few days a year that we get it up there, so
yeah. So we do have plans to go and see snow properly. We do want to really go and do Japan, so that is high on the list to make sure that we go and see the snow in Japan.
Hello, Evelyn.
Hi. Okay, so the next question we have is from Angela. Are you uploading whilst you're in each country? So, do you want to answer that one?
Right. We travel with just this. This is it. We do not check luggage in or anything like that. So our whole lives need to fit in here. We do have laptop pockets in the back of these bags to fit a laptop, but because we're on motorbikes or rickshaws or whatever, no. We don't upload when we're in other countries simply because we just don't carry the technology to do it. So we film absolutely everything, and then we spend weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks inside the home editing for all you guys. So
we want to be able to put that effort in while we're out on the road instead of having to worry about getting back to the hotel and being able to edit it on time for you. So we'd rather just film it all in one go and then post it with proper editing without having to, slap something together.
We will still give you little teasers, little shorts and reels and things like that. But yeah, as for our long form videos, they do take time. And yeah, there's no point bringing the laptop if it's just going to get broken.
Yeah. So. Anthony says, how do you find the language barrier when going to foreign countries? So we're really lucky because we tend to go to countries that do have a lot of English speaking people. And when they're not speaking English in places that are quite rural, hand gestures, Google Translate, that's really, really useful. In Vietnam, we went to a couple of places where nothing was in English. So we had to use Google Translate, both for speaking to people and also to just figure out what was written on a menu. You can literally take a photo of it with Google Lens and it comes up straight away immediately. So that's super helpful when we're traveling.
Something that surprised us, especially in India, was we didn't have a problem at all. In the rural areas with the older generation, we did have a little bit of issues, but there was always someone there that could help us. Believe it or not, India is the second largest English-speaking country in the world. So yeah, we thought we were going to have a lot of problems, and we didn't.
Evelyn says, how do you plan where you go and what motivates you to travel? We don't really plan what we do on our trips. We kind of get there and we talk to people and we say, you have a rough idea. Okay, well, we want to go and see that one thing. And then we kind of talk to people and see what is there along the way, what is there around that area. And we try and we try to stay away from the tourist things. We still hit them, but we don't make that our entire trip.
Yeah, sometimes by going to some tourist things, you can find out what else is around. Like the little scary parlour thing that we did.
Yeah, House of Horrors, yeah.
House of Horrors, just tucked around the side there, and we went, let's go do that, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it was like $2, and we all went through and scared the crap out of ourselves.
What motivates us? You guys. You guys watching our videos. But not only that, it's our love for exploration. We do a lot of urbexing, like urban exploring in abandoned places, in our downtime, like when we're not traveling, and that's just what we love to do. We love to travel to explore and just see something new. Yeah, live life.
Yeah. Dom's actually had a few questions. So the first one is, how do you afford so many trips and get so much time off work? So as far as getting time off work, I work a really good roster for traveling. I work 4 days on and 4 days off. So if I want 12 days off, I only have to book 4 days off. So that's super helpful for getting time off. And Luke has been working for the same company for 15 years, so he's got a lot of long service leave.
Yeah, and not only that, we can build up hours and stuff like that and use them for holidays. As for how do we afford the travel, we are very busy. I buy and sell boats, so I buy a boat, I fix it up and I sell it for a profit, and that's in my spare time. So there's a lot of that going on. Yana works like 3 jobs, plus editing and all the rest of it. We're just very busy. We don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't
really
go out for dinners, we don't party. Most of our money just gets put away for travel. And also, we're very, I'd like to say, tight-fisted when we're traveling. We don't go and stay in the lavish hotels. We don't go, the tourist spots, they charge the most for seeing those things. And 9 times out of 10, you're behind a velvet rope. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and we don't really travel to really expensive places either. We love the Asian countries more for the people, but also it's so cost effective. Like you get so much more from traveling to an Asian country than you do from traveling to a first world country, Western world. So next one is another one from Dom. Do you budget for holidays, and is there a lot of planning involved with sorting out currencies and working out exchange rates? So Jesse's actually a bit of a genius when it comes to exchange rates. I can tell him there's 400 or there's 200 Indian rupee to every Australian dollar, and he just tells me the answer. Like I'll be like, oh, that's 300 rupee. How much is that, Jesse? And he just tells me. So have your own math genius. That helps. But also a lot of currencies are super easy to figure out. Once you figure out the rule, there's always a rule there,
So, it's roughly 10,000 Indonesian rupiah to $1. So even if you pay 9.8 or you get 9,800 rupiah for your dollar, it's still close enough to 10. So you just work it out. 10 is a dollar. The Indian rupee is about 45 Indian rupee is 1 Australian dollar. So you just round it up to 50, and at the end of your holiday, you've spent less than what you thought. So, yeah, it's quite easy to do. You just round it up to the nearest figure, or,
Find yourself a rule that sticks in your brain.
Yeah,
I did really struggle with the rupee in India, so I actually wrote myself like a little cheat sheet where I had 100 equals, 200 equals, and I put it on the back of my phone. So when I was talking to someone, I could just look at the back of my phone and go, oh, okay, I know how much that is. And then as far as getting the currencies together before we leave, we only take about 50 Australian dollars worth of that country's currency so that we can land with the money. We've got enough to eat something, enough to get a taxi to our hotel, and then we exchange more once we get over there, because when you exchange money in the actual country, it's so much better rate.
Travelex is just a nightmare. It's an absolute rip. I think I was
not just Travelex, all of them in Australia.
I think I got 7,300 rupee to $1, and then when I landed in Bali, it was 10,300. So that's a lot. When you're talking a few $100s. Yeah. Oh, we've got a question.
How does Jessie like traveling to a lot of different countries? Would you
How
like
do you
to
like
answer
it?
that one?
It's fun, but sometimes going to a new place can be not nervous, but
Nerve-wracking?
Yeah, nerve-wracking, but overall I think it's pretty fun. That
You just know
I'm
you're
lucky
safe
to
with
do
your old
this.
puppy, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Another question from Dom is, hold on. If money was no issue, what would be your ultimate bucket list?
To never come home.
I think there's different answers to this one, because money being no issue is one thing, but also time being no issue. If someone gave me 50 grand tomorrow, that's all well and good, but I still can't get the time off work to spend the 50 grand for as long as I want to. So money-wise, if money was no issue, and time, I would love to go and do America and Canada and all of those places. But if time was no issue, we really have this dream to drive a tuk-tuk from the bottom of Sri Lanka to across India, and then where was it? Across Nepal, and just basically try and travel the world in a tuk-tuk, which kind of brings us to a bit of a reveal thing. We've been working really hard trying to organise a auto rickshaw to be imported into Australia.
We have spoken to government officials, we have spoken to Department of Transport, we have spoken to shipping companies, customs. We have all those ducks lined up. Shipping is our biggest problem. The shipping cost is phenomenal. Just for a 700 kilo tuk-tuk, we're looking at $6,500. They want us to get a whole shipping container. So,
and that doesn't include customs, that doesn't include quarantine.
That's just to get it here.
That's just for the shipping container and to get it across. We still have to pay all the taxes and everything on top of that. So we are at a bit of a roadblock, I guess you could say. We would love to be able to bring the tuk-tuk over to Australia and do some epic trips across Australia and all that kind of stuff, but we're not financially able to put that kind of money in, and
it's not just that, it's just the cost to reward. It just doesn't make sense to spend $15,000 to get a tuk-tuk here and licensed. There's so much money.
There's a big gamble at the end for the licensing. We can get all of the paperwork to get it into the country, but it's actually getting it licensed on Australian roads. That's our biggest gamble. So if we put all that money in, that $10,000 to get it over here, and then it not be able to be licensed, then we've just,
Anyway, so we're still working on it, guys.
Yeah. So
keep an eye out. We may still get one. At the end of this trip, we're going to India for a week. We're going to go and speak to some shipping companies. Fingers crossed we can get something a little cheaper, or rent out a space of a container. Even roll on, roll off would be a lot cheaper than $6,500 having to get a whole container. So
if you know anyone, or you would like to sponsor us in getting one over here, hit us up, because we will take it. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you got a little bit of an inside look into what we think and do, and
before we go, I just want everyone to have a look at the world's most boring airport ever. This is Perth Airport, and this is literally it. It is the most boring airport you'll ever go to. $15 ham and cheese toasted sandwiches all day long.
Crazy.
So yeah, which is why we're speaking to you guys, because we need some sort of form of entertainment while we're waiting here.
But yeah, we will arrive in Kuta tonight at midnight and be heading off to our accommodation, hopefully getting some sleep, and then we will start our massive journey across East Java to Surabaya.
We have a lot of cool things on the list to see, so stay tuned.
Cool. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Adios.